All right, let's have some fun now and talk about your beef with Keemstar. That's so fun. I love Keemstar is one of my favorite people on. He's such a pathetic goon. And you made this great video, Why I Hate Influencer Boxing. And you did call out Keemstar a lot. What the? Did you edit?
Do you like that?
What the hell?
So that's Fat Jake
you
Paul.
olded them all.
That's Fat Logan Paul.
Oh, I see.
And Fat Austin McBroom.
And jacked, handsome Ian.
Yeah, beautiful. Baby faced.
Pure, beautiful skin. That's awesome.
Thanks. You're not going to play this video, are you?
No, I just wanted to see what you... Well, you just said basically that Keemstar... Well, what do you think about him in the space with his whole happy punch bullshit and with him and FouseyTube?
I think he enjoys an element of boxing that I don't really enjoy. He's just like very...
Drama forward.
He likes the drama, and he obviously makes money from the drama, so I understand why he's a little bit biased toward it.
Sure.
He wants goofy, embarrassing shit. He wants people to like just kind of like throw all caution to the wind, embarrass themselves, just do whatever it takes to get a couple more views and clicks. We don't feel like we need to do that at all. This is a very fucking tough event. Like people, like if you want people to experience like humiliation and embarrassment and like putting it all on the line, it's already happening. Like we're boxing in an event where we have the possibility of getting knocked out. You know,
it's also like it's way more like he wants Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Like that's kind of like Jerry Springer, but with like severe head injuries, basically.
But I don't think anybody else wants that.
No.
No. You're already asking people to do a lot, and I think if Keemstar had like an actual boxing event that he was putting on, and he said like, "Hey guys, I'm doing Jerry Springer boxing," and you had our event, I think most people would be like, "Oh, I'm going with your guys' event, not Keemstar's," because that's so much to ask a person.
It's also like shocking at how much support we've gotten for the direction we're... I mean, we were at sushi last night, and the sushi chef like came up to Ian and was like telling him how like excited he is about this event, and he's never cared about boxing before. I mean, it's a different audience, right? Like, but I mean, we're kind of betting on the idea that this audience is actually much bigger than the audience that wants a Jerry Springer direction.
Yeah, trashy. Just trashy. Well, the thing that I liked about this video, which you guys should watch, is just how much you highlight that, how much of a serious event it is, and how, you know, you want good fights, safe fights, and like, I actually thought you made really good points, not just to trash Keemstar, but just to say like, this is what he wants, which is trashy and lame and pathetic, and like, he's a loser, and like nobody will ever love him, stuff like that. And then you were like, you know, well, and he could the only women will be with him are like 18 because they don't have enough life experience, stuff like that. And then you're like, well, our event is actually super professional. The fight itself is enough. And I think that's a good point.
You have to be 18 or older to fight.
Yeah, so that would exclude his friends.
Also, like, the big thing is like, we have so many creative, very successful YouTubers and Twitch streamers that we know can do really cool, like, WWE level, like, interesting stuff. Like, even, like, if you look at Ego Raptor and, like, Harley's Trash Talk, it's funny.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
I did a thing, and Odd Ones Out, Trash Talk on Twitter, is funny. Like the clips that Ian's uploaded are...
Yeah, these are all a bunch of super talented.
Yeah.
And you're not going to attract like actually serious talented people if it's like, fucking knock him out, pussy, no gloves.
It's also like a lot of weird mixed signals. If you look at, there's a clip of, I think it was Fousey and Keemstar doing a press conference for YouTubers versus TikTokers. Super awkward
That was
moment.
the Austin McBroom one, right?
Yeah.
Very successful, by the way.
There was one of the creators who was like called out like in the press conference and like embarrassed because he had texted his opponent like, you want to like start this like beef, this fake beef or whatever, because they were obviously feeling the pressure
to promote
this
train wreck.
And they don't give them options. It's like, no, you gotta beef. That's the only way to do it. And then they use that as like a jumping off point to be like, oh yeah, this guy's over here faking beef. What a loser. And it's like, what you're all doing.
Well, yeah.
Like, don't, like...
You're the one that, like, pushed him to doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an awkward...
So they called out one of the fighters during the press conference.
Yeah, Michael Lee, I think his name is. He's a TikToker. And it's just, like... The questions they ask, too, are all really weird.
It's clear that it's clear that he knows nothing about boxing. I didn't even understand why. Oh, but one thing I was telling you guys before the show, I think most of our audience know, the reason that Keemstar and Fusi are doing this is because of fucking Ryan Kavanaugh, the guy that's suing me 4 times.
Wow. I had no clue.
That's not awesome.
Yeah, I was wondering like where. I just thought like Keemstar had a good idea. Like I like legitimately, I thought he just like because like the YouTube drama space. I mean, one, it's dwindling because a lot of us are growing up, to be honest, and kind of just like it's becoming less of a thing. Also, people just care about it less. It's getting pushed less by YouTube. So I thought like Keemstar was making a really smart business decision to be like, okay, well, if I switch into boxing that's inherently dramatic, then like I can like continue to do this. So I thought he partnered with Fusi, and that's what they were doing. And I was like, oh wow, like they seem to have a pretty good system.
Interesting idea. No, it was Ryan Kavanaugh. Okay. Because he's behind the whole Triller Fight Club thing.
Yeah.
By the way, we originally were talking to a bunch of people, including Triller, and they told us at the time they wanted to do this conveyor belt thing where they just have like YouTubers come on a card
like once a month
thing.
Okay.
And we were like, what? That seems like literally the worst idea.
That's too frequent.
Like
way too frequent. You can't hype anything up. There's like it seems silly to do.
You're gonna injure someone too. Like, what are you gonna like?
Well, they're desperate. I don't know if you know. I follow Ryan Kavanaugh quite. His company lost $1 billion last year, bro.
Wow.
$1 billion.
He's a fucking prolific loser.
Recently I thought we were in somewhat good terms. You have an event. I've been trying to talk about your event as much as possible.
So this is in response to your video?
Yeah.
I can already tell he's so sad.
That's it. Not okay.
I think Anissa has good insight on
this. So I have a relative with I'm not saying he has BPD, but I have a relative with BPD, and I think a piece of me felt really sad watching this because I genuinely think. I don't think Keemstar, a lot of the time, understands when he throws stones. I don't think he, understands when he's doing things that are hurting people. So then when somebody responds with the same energy, I think he feels genuinely like he's being attacked. And then he gets, then he's like, well, now I have to fight. And it, I think it, Keemstar aside, anybody in the, when he was talking on the phone, it did kind of make me sad, genuinely.
I think that's a generous interpretation, but there is a lot of sadness there.
I think he respects Ian a lot more than
he really wants to be your friend.
I think
clearly.
he wants to be Ian's friend.
Yeah.
And I think he was happy that Ian was reaching out to him and felt like they had mended that, and I think he feels betrayed. But Ian, Ian's a critical guy, of every, he's going to say what...
Yeah, I guess in fairness, I'm sure you'll play the video, but the points he makes are they're I guess valid in Keemstar's world, but I just don't feel like he really
didn't click.
Yeah, he didn't really understand that the things he's been saying, it is hurtful to me to suggest that we're promoting the show or the creator clash in a bad way. So I've been listening to what he's saying. I'll listen to the Twitter spaces that he runs. I'll be like, that's bullshit, and I'm storing that. I'm I'm gonna fucking talk about that.
So he's been talking shit.
A little bit.
Okay.
I shouldn't say talking shit. He's been talking shit on
critical.
how we're running the show.
Yeah, he feels like there's not enough drama. He said he feels like we're promoting it wrong. We're not going to make the right amount of money.
Well, he has an enormous well of experience.
Right.
to speak from.
Yeah, the previous TikTok versus YouTuber.
Yeah, he was a part of that, right? They were bankrupt. None of the fighters got paid, so...
Yeah, that's why it's I just don't... He doesn't need to do it. It's I don't mind him talking about the show and promoting it. I think that's helpful, but fucking all the extra shit he puts on it is just way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right though. There's a lot of sadness there. He's an orphan, and I don't mean that as an insult. It's just a statement of fact, and that's a lot to deal with.
I think
that brings a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the older I get, the more I understand genuinely that people on the internet, a lot of them, a lot of people aren't I had a therapist say to me, like, most people don't wake up trying to ruin other people's days. Like, that's a very rare
And then there's
person.
Keemstar.
But, like, so you try to interpret as much as possible that, like, when somebody's doing something, even if it's hurtful, most of the time they're doing it as a defense mechanism, even if it's
That's
really
true.
messed up.
It's definitely a defense
Right.
mechanism. Yeah,
So, like, I think we actually watched that when we were eating poke, and it genuinely made me feel, I felt sad.
What's the poke significance?
Poke.
Okay. Yeah. I've got the bowl. I thought you were going to spit up your fish or something.
No, I just like. I think it's. I don't know.
I didn't know if I was getting sick from the poke.
Yeah, I felt nauseous. It was the raw fish or Keemstar.
I just want to say, I agree with Anissa, and I feel like that's where the whole beef with Ethan and Keemstar as well. So he thought when he came on the show, they would be buddy-buddy.
I agree.
The problem with the man is, like, we had a good time. Or, I mean, I was brutally honest with him, but it was good.
Yeah.
And, like, I apologize. So he got super mad at me because I was like, I know you guys are mad I talked to Keemstar. I was like, well, you don't like him. But even though you hate him, and I hate him too, which come off harsh, but whatever. But, like, he's interesting, and let's hear him out. And I was like, he was like, fuck you, you fuck. And I was like, you know, I'm sorry. It was too harsh. I erased the comment. I did everything to, like, be a normal, and he would just never let this go. Like, I tried, you know.
It's the betrayal.
And then he tried to ruin my fucking life.
Or the feeling of betrayal. I'm not saying that you did betray him, but.
I mean, the man has, you know, well, anyway, let's watch it.
We'll help you promote your event. I had you on the Twitter
It's got to
Spaces
be hard, though,
talk.
to be like, how old is he? He's 40. He just turned 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be hard to be 40 and just have, like, just a loveless life, you know?
That makes me so sad. Ethan.
Yeah, no, I'm right. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, that's why, like, he's, you know, the only girls who hang out with him are, like, right out of high school. There are some 18-year-olds in high school.
We saw him from afar, you know, at
you
the Jake Paul event.
He lost a lot of weight, didn't he?
Yeah, he had, like, a whole posse. It was like a whole train, a parade. There was, like, you know, a bunch of, like, younger YouTubers, like, in their career or whatever, and then just him in the middle with, like, his significant other, and then
it's like daycare
some in the back.
when he hangs out.
And we had our masks on, so
he's their chaperone.
We had but it was an interesting sight. It was kind of like seeing a wild animal.
Did they arrive in a school bus? Is it a field trip? But yeah, I mean, look, it's got to be hard. I mean, the guy has a bar in his basement where he probably serves underage girls alcohol, and you know that's just what it is when you can't hang out with someone.
I did see that video of him and Fousey, you guys like reacting to that.
Yeah.
Like, that was very interesting.
I did like
I love when he was bringing out like cheeses and bacon. And,
wasn't that so interesting?
And that was like the food. Oh, it wasn't bacon, it was jerky.
It was jerky. He had a plate of maple syrup and they were eating it with a fork.
I love it.
It tastes like jerky.
I feel like
you could tell Fousey was not about it. It's like, this is some white people shit.
I feel like Fousey the whole time was like trying to figure out if it was halal or not what he was eating.
Oh, is he halal?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. He just had jerky. That was like how Keemstar eats. I mean, the man is a fucking beast. He literally just eats beef jerky and maple syrup. Like, who does that except Sasquatch? He lives in Buffalo, New York. He lives in the forest. He's a fucking Sasquatch.
About your event and plug your event. You know, it all comes down to selling tickets, selling pay-per-views. That's what these events are all about. And you're trying to do something different. I'm interested to see how it's gonna all pan out.
Yeah.
But in this new video, it's like, it almost feels like we're at war against Keemstar. You know?
I did use a lot of Keemstar clips in that video because he was the main spokesperson for these points. I occasionally hear it from other people, but not nearly as often as Keemstar. I'd almost say it in every live space.
And the points that you're trying to combat are what?
Are that starting some drama is like strictly good.
Right.
And like when someone says like drama is good for your event, that like has so many connotations because it's like, yeah, I agree. What am I going to do about that? Like, I'm not going to. The only way to make drama happen is to either let it happen organically or you fake it. And, like, I'm under the philosophy that you should just let it happen organically. This is an example of it happening organically. Keemstar says some shit that I totally disagree with, so I make a video about it. And that's exactly why I made the videos, because I'm like, yeah, this could totally bring attention to my event. And he even addresses it in the video saying, like, see, this is good. This drama is good. I'm like, yeah, it's good, but it's not what you had in mind.
Right.
What you had in mind was me and Dr. Mike, like, saying some cringe.
Right. But you guys are both good dudes, and neither you are interested in juvenile drama.
It's cringe. It's not.
Yeah,
that's not the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
Maybe Keemstar's crowd would want to watch that cringe, but
as far as it coming across naturally, like we got some natural stuff going on. Dr. Mike doesn't want to do the pro fight; he wants to do exhibition. So, you know,
there you go.
That's some stuff.
Let's dig in.
We were genuinely shocked
funny.
by that, though.
Yeah.
We thought he was down.
Yeah, just we don't want to force it, Keemstar.
But you know, there's a lot to be said for good sportsmanship too. Like, you know, people really love to see like good sports.
Mm-hmm.
We also like found a bunch of secure people, like people that are secure in their life, happy.
Right.
They're not young. Like a lot of these guys that are doing like a lot of this beef, like they're young. They're not secure with themselves.
Right.
There's a lot of like weird stuff that gets thrown out that's like
yeah,
homophobic or sexist, and
Really?
you get into some really strange stuff, like people talking about wanting to fuck the other person's wife or girlfriend in front of them after the fight, and like just
really
weird,
cringe.
gross stuff.
Right.
There's actually this moment where I think it was Tyson Fury's dad. Said some shit about Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Because it was Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul.
I really wanted to see that fight.
Yeah, so did we.
It's a shame.
And his dad said some shit like, my son's gonna bend over your girlfriend or something like that.
Yeah.
wow.
And it was just like, Jake Paul, it was like the best response Jake Paul could have ever gave, which was like, that is super like cringy, like not say that.
Interesting.
Super mature, and it was like,
Wow, that's impressive.
yeah. It was like, that was a separation of like, Jake Paul understood like what the level is here, the level of intensity.
Yeah.
And
that was over the
seriousness of it.
line.
And that was just like, all right.
But it's weird how often things get accidentally like homophobic, like very like it's very strange.
Interesting.
Like they love to call each other gay or
Really?
like sucking each other's dicks or
Yeah.
like, but
In
it's
the
like in a
Showstar
way of
one,
like
there was a
shame.
ton of that.
It's so
That was the
strange.
one that was like bad.
Yeah.
That was poorly organized.
Right.
Lots of homophobia. Interesting.
Also, like faking beef, it's like that guy probably wouldn't have headbutt the other guy if they didn't like rally these two up.
Right.
We won the game.
Said boxing's not about knockouts. And then you bring up a point where I say, hey, if you get the knockout, it's like, you know, the biggest plug in the world. What is wrong? I don't understand what's wrong with what I'm saying. You know, Jarvis got the knockout in Social Gloves. Jarvis is one of the most sought of boxers right now.
Is that true?
I mean,
I think people take him seriously because he won.
yeah.
Okay.
Just like people take Wasabi seriously because he won. Wasabi just won against Deji.
I mean, Jake Paul didn't knock anyone out until recently.
I've never heard of him.
What?
I've never heard of him, so.
I don't know who. I mean, I know who Jarvis is, but he's just a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I don't think he's in demand.
Well, that's
I'm a
the
fan
problem,
of
right?
boxing. I've never heard of him.
Is Keemstar, when I was trying to look for an opponent, he did a Twitter poll on his own of like, who would you like to see Idubbbz fight? And he lined up like 4 people. Because he was convinced I needed to fight like a nemesis. If it wasn't Rice Gum, it had to be J Station.
Right.
And I'm like, I've never said a fucking word about J Station. I don't know anything about him.
He doesn't even have a YouTube.
He doesn't even
anymore.
have a YouTube presence.
Yeah, he's banned.
It's like, you are so stupid.
But they're not even good opponents. It's not good fights.
If you think I should fight this. But he put that Twitter poll up. Who do you think won? J Station.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
That's who
it was
it is.
Jeff
Thanks
Wittig,
for nothing.
Taylor Holder, and some other ones. Dr. Mike. And it's like, yeah, like that's your audience. Like, of course,
Yeah.
Keemstar's audience is going to say J Station.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's like putting it out to an
it's
echo
super
chamber.
biased, yeah.
His obsession with wanting to box me is awesome, too. Actually, what's interesting is you invited him into the gym, and he bitched out.
Yeah, to spar. I mean, that's the thing. He's very confident about talking about like knockouts and head injuries, but I feel the same way as Ian did in that, you know, if you're going to be so confident about people giving each other, you know, knockouts and concussions, like you should at
least try it.
At least
Yeah.
Know
soak
what
a
it
few
is.
punches to the head.
Yeah.
You know, at least know. I mean, concussions are not fun. It's the worst. You feel like you don't even know which way is up or down. It's
Really?
Yeah,
the
and if
worst.
you're going to be involved with so much of the boxing press and giving your like high-level takes about what should be done, like you should have some experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, you offered graciously for him to come down, and he bitched out big time. He fucking cried.
We would do it too, and
I know.
Ian's a very responsible
I
spar.
know.
You wouldn't hurt him.
You would take him graciously to give him a genuine
I
experience.
mean, Michael's going to be chaperoning the whole thing, making sure I'm not going crazy on him.
Yeah.
Because of him getting the knockout. Jake Paul literally has blown up to as big as he is because he's knocking people out left and right. Like,
that's not true. He got one knockout recently.
Yeah, so he's...
Oh, no, he knocked out Ben Askren.
Yeah. Right, but again, it's one of these things where it's like, fought Anisan Gibb, didn't knock him out, won, fought Tyrone the first time, didn't knock him out.
Yeah.
I think it was a tie.
And that was a way bigger match, by the way.
Yeah.
Nobody watched the second time.
Yeah, and Ian talked about that in his video, like, the mystery's going away. So less people are, like, buying it out of, like, curiosity. So the pay-per-views are, like, we think that's why they're going down.
Right.
Makes sense.
Well, the second fight doesn't surprise me at all. Like, nobody was fucking care about that. It really depends on who he's fighting, in my opinion. Like, I was curious to see him fight that one dude.
We bought tickets because we thought he was fighting Fury.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that would have been a good fight. The guy's actually a boxer. That was weird how it just got canceled at the last minute.
His broken ribs. He broke his ribs in sparring. That's the problem with, like, and we worry about it with our fighters. You know, they're sparring. They can get injured at any
Yeah, they're doing everything
second.
physical. Like, they need to keep up the intensity, you know, every day. So
get sick.
Yeah.
You know, bodies.
Yeah,
are
we were really
squishy.
paranoid about that. COVID as well.
COVID.
Just general sickness. It's like, yeah.
Well, if you're in Florida, they don't even think it exists there.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't understand what's wrong with that.
He's actually just so
you know,
sad.
if you get the knockout, that's the best thing you can hope for, right?
Damn, he's about to cry though.
What was the other point you made? I don't even know. Look, you're trying to do something completely different, all right? And I wish you the best of luck. And I hope your event is wildly successful. I want more people involved in influencer boxing. And I'm interested to see how this pans out for you. But I mean, how are you against trash talk when you just uploaded a video trash talking me?
I mean, it's such a dumbass point. Like, you weren't trash talking to him. You were
bringing up.
You were countering
all
something.
Influencer boxing, right? Like,
trash talk would be like saying that you're like, you know,
calling him ugly,
a parentless gnome or stuff like that.
Yeah, call him ugly.
Ugly, unlovable. Like, I trash talk him. You didn't see anything like that.
No, I definitely didn't.
Like saying Keemstar stays the same, or Keemstar gets older, but his girlfriends stay the same age. That's trash talk.
Where's that from?
That's from Fast Times, I think.
Dazed and Confused.
Or Dazed and Confused? Yeah, you know, that's trash talk.
Do you guys want a coffee drink?
I'll take a coffee drink.
I'll take a coffee drink.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
You're promoting your event by talking shit about everyone else's event. Like, you're literally doing what I've been telling you to do. Talk shit.
All right.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's him.
Nice.
What I love about that is a lot of that footage of him that you use in your video, Ian, is he was talking to Hundar to knock me out. Like, that whole knockout rant was about me. And I think he was just trying to, like, bait me or piss me off or scare me, and not realizing that he's exposing that he doesn't know shit about boxing while he's saying that.
Oh yeah, and he was also saying the same thing to Dad. He was saying, so you gonna go for the knockout? As like just a strategy question.
But it's just stupid. It's like a dumb question, right? Because it's like, I'm just fighting.
Yeah, and the plan changes also depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
Maybe you get in there and you get your fucking shit rocked. Like, then you're just in there to survive.
And then also, just in Keemstar fashion, he went after your significant other, which is kind of his go-to. He said
I liked Ian's response, by the way, though. You get the mountain, Cersei in the mountain.
So let's see.
Because he's saying that he's going to have some of his happy punch people spar me.
Represent him.
Right, he's Cersei.
Yeah.
Right.
Cersei in the mountain.
You scroll down, it says strength. Wait, click on the image itself. Oh, you can't.
Oh, damn.
It's cut off. Dang it.
It said what? Art. What does it say?
It just says like strength.
It's like a tarot card, deviant art.
Got it.
Deviant art tarot card.
But then, of course, he's attacking Anissa, which is what he does. I've
been witchified. I've been witchified
He,
by
of course,
Keemstar.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, basically he's calling you a witch.
Yeah, because she's the red witch.
Yep.
And how dumb of you for thinking that that's what he's saying.
Wait,
Oh,
but
true. I know. I was.
Implication doesn't exist.
How you
Yeah.
just said that about
Hold on.
yourself?
Hold
I
on.
told on
Fucking
myself.
Just
own.
sent a picture.
Yeah.
Just
It
you just
doesn't mean
owned
anything.
yourself. You said you're a witch.
I told on myself. It's true. I have special spells.
But wait, I thought he was already using the witch on Lena. Like he doesn't have any
Recycled.
All women are witches.
new content.
Well, anyway, he really hates.
They're 18.
He really hates
Sorry.
women. He calls Lena, AB's wife, a witch.
Well,
he called
don't
Ela
worry, we
whore.
hate him too.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just.